Afternoon. We are group number 5 from room A18. This is tutorial number 19, and we'll be doing question 5. Find the arc length of the graph y equals ln of cos of x from x equals 0 to x equals pi over 4. These problems involving arc length need simple understanding. Don't get length confused with the length between 2 points. With the arc length, we finding the length essentially between 2 points of a continuous function. So if this is a graph of f of x, we're finding the length of this graph between point A and between point B inclusive. So where x is greater than or equal to A and less than or equal to B. And it's this region of the graph over here. So we are finding. Think of it as if you're drawing infinite number of lines between these 2 points and connecting each line and finding the length of each line and summing them up, which is what we are going to do. When dealing with arc length, just remember to revise on deriving of functions, as that will play a part in solving the solution. There's 2 important formulas to know with arc length. The first formula, which is set up like this, L equals ds, which is going to equal to the square root of 1 plus dy over dx squared. Now, when dealing with a function in question, such as this one here, y equals ln of cos of x, which can be written as y equals f of x. So we're dealing with in terms of x. We will use this formula here. So where y equals f of x between 2 points A and B. And in the question here, our 2 points are x equals 0 and x equals pi over 4. The second formula to know is if we're dealing with in terms of y. So it's similar to the first one. Square root of 1 plus dx over dy. As the first one is dy over dx, now we're dealing with in terms of x, so it's dx over dy, where x equals h of y, and we are between point C and D. Yes, so it's still squared, it's very similar, and it's still squared. Obviously, there's just 2 differences with if you're dealing with a form y equals f of x and x equals h of y. And in this case of question number 5, we're dealing with y equals f of x. So y equals ln of cos of x between 0 and pi over 4. Let's first calculate the derivative of our function. So dy over dx equals to 1 over cos of x times minus sine of x equals to minus sine of x over cos of x, which is equal to minus tan of x. Dy over dx squared equals to tan squared of x. So we're just simplifying, so we can just substitute into our formula of ds over here. So let's do the substitution. L is going to equal the square root of 1 plus our dy over dx squared, which is equal to tan squared x, which if we look at this, we can simplify this further by referring to a simple trig identity. If we look over here, this identity is simply sec squared minus tan squared x equals 1. If we rearrange this, we can see that sec squared x is equal to 1 plus tan squared x. So we simply substitute in for sec squared x. Because this is squared, the square root, we simply state that it's equal to x sec x squared. Correction, sec x. Now what we simply do is we find the integral of this between points 0 and pi over 4. Integral 0 pi over 4 of sec of x is going to equal to the integral of sec of x is ln of sec of x plus tan of x, absolute value, as ln cannot be negative. If we look at the ln graph over here quickly, as ln approaches 0, it tends towards minus infinity. It never reaches 0, or there's no negative values. Between 0 and pi over 4, the fundamental of theorem of calculus states that we need to minus and the substitution of pi over 4 into this function, subtract from, if we substitute 0 into this. So we will do that now. ln of absolute value sec of pi over 4 plus tan of pi over 4 minus ln sec of 0 plus tan of 0. This is just the fundamental theorem of calculus that you need to know. If we look at the first problem here, sec of pi over 4 plus tan of pi over 4, if we refer to our special triangles, over here you can see that we're working with pi over 4. So radian pi over 4 is equivalent to 45 degrees. This is just for my understanding. I don't know how you understand it, but I refer back into 45 degrees, so I know to use this special triangle. This is from high school. So if we're dealing with sec, if we're referring to SOHCAHTOA, sec is the opposite of, or if we look at it, 1 over cos of x of a over h. So that is the same as saying h over a. So h over a over here is going to be hypotenuse over adjacent, which is root 2. So this is going to be ln root 2 plus tan of 45. If we look back over here, tan 45 is 1 over 1 over a, which is plus 1, minus ln absolute value of sec of 0. If we look at the cos graph, because remember we're using this logic over here, h over a. The cos graph goes like this. At 0, cos is equal to 1. So cos of x is equal to 1. Sec must also be equal to 1 over 1. It's just, you swap it around. So ln of 1 minus 0, obviously tan of 0 is 0. Therefore, our answer is root 2 plus 1 minus ln of 1 is 0. So simply ln root 2 plus 1 is our final answer.